Okay, ladies and gentlemen, today we'll once again have the wheel. We're down to the last 19 here. Let's go ahead and see what we get. Okay. So basically the opposite to my Batsu mule. Okay. All right. Let's try this one. This one might be a little bit different. Let's try it. 1993 Vapid Steed. This will be one of the few commercial vehicles I'll be reviewing in my stay in Liberty. Well, I imagine it drives exactly the same as the mule in GTA 4. Alas, I must review it. What is this truck? Baby, it's the Steed. It's the Steed, not the mule. I don't know why you're not fair. I give you my love. 1993 Vapid Steed. The official car of, hey listen, I don't want to hire a moving company. Can I borrow your truck? I've never really driven this thing much in GTA 4, really. Any heavy trucks besides the Phantom and Trashmaster, but with my limited knowledge of this class of vehicle, I imagine they handle relatively the same. While the Steed has no prior history in the series, people have noticed that it is some sort of spiritual successor to the mule from the 3D universe. The Steed we see here today is primarily based on a 1992-1996 Ford Econoline box truck. I had a real hard time finding good videos about the older E-Series vans, and to be honest, Ford really changed the design up until about 2008 or so. I guess you can't really improve much on perfection. The Ford E-Series platform is a multi-purpose van chassis designed for many roles. Need an ambulance? No problem. Box truck? Easy. Camper? Sure thing. There's probably nothing, and I mean nothing, this van can't do. A sort of jack of all trades up until Ford introduced the Transit to the US market a couple years ago. The Econoline series was the van to buy, if you bought Ford specifically for that, obviously. Now, of course, being a vehicle designed for multiple roles, the E-Series was equipped with many engine options. I'll only go over a few here because there are way too many to list out. I'll list only the highest displacement options here. The highest displacement motors on offer, available between 92 and 96, were the 7.5 liter Ford 385 overhead valve V8 engine, the Navistar 7.3 liter IDI turbo diesel overhead valve V8, and the Navistar T444E or Ford Powerstroke turbo diesel. There was also a choice of 3 4-speed automatics and a 5-speed automatic as well. No manual option was offered. On the last generation, you can get a manual, I believe, but not on this generation, unfortunately. I mean, you could probably swap it, but, you know, there you go. Back on track with the Steed. What's it got under the bonnet? Well, according to the badging, the Steed features an intercooled V8, which I can only assume is some kind of turbo diesel. However, the model is a turbocharged inline 4-cylinder. Well, they got the turbo right at least. To be fair, it would be hard to stuff a V8 in there. I'll give Rockstar some props though for at least mounting the engine longitudinally. So, how does this thing drive then? Well, as you expect for a commercial box truck, it's pretty slow. I did notice it did seem to remain in the power band when climbing some hills. Doesn't improve acceleration any, but at least it's able to maintain its speed. This is probably thanks due in part to its 5-speed gearbox. And also, despite being very top heavy, it's actually quite difficult to tip over, though it still handles like garbage. Just like the mule, the Steed has multiple different variations with different logos, and even graffiti. I was only able to spot a couple in my gameplay, but I'll put some of the pictures of the alternate variations in the video. Another thing I noticed was also the Steed had no backup beeper when I drove in reverse, which is a bit odd. Well, there you go, 1993 Vapid Steed. I feel like I could make a joke here about Mustangs, you know, because Vapid is basically Ford and the Steed's another word for a horse. Anyway, 1993 Vapid Steed, the other box truck. Unfortunately, that's all I have to say about this truck. Nothing really special about it, but it isn't featured in GTA 5, and honestly, if it was or wasn't, I really couldn't care less, because it just feels like a reskin of the Mule, basically. And to be fair, I actually like the Mule better than the Steed. I mean, it's a nice, it's a box truck. What else can I say, really? It's not any bigger than the Mule. It's not any faster than it. In fact, the Mule and the Steed go about the same top speed, which is 62 miles per hour. Yes, I looked it up. I would think the Steed would be a little bit faster because it's American and has a V8, and the Mule probably has an inline 6 with a turbocharger, probably. I don't know. But yeah, nothing much to say about this truck. It's a van truck. It's a van chassis. Like, I don't know. What I find is really odd is, you know, that Rockstar never used like the chassis of this truck for any other vehicle. They always use like the burrito chassis for like the ambulance or something like that. You know, that's what really, you know, puzzles me. They never use the chassis of this particular vehicle for any other large vehicle, like a bus or something like that. So that's a bit of a, you know, a missed opportunity there, I suppose. But you know, anyway, that's pretty much it. 1993 Vapid Steed. It's a truck. It's slow, and it is very durable, though. I was able to sustain many hits from oncoming traffic before it started to smoke. So obviously, if you want a vehicle to crash into cars, this is your guy. So without further ado, I'm out of here. Peace out, everybody.